Project Human Resource Management, presented by John Paul Ramones, Magilyn Tagata, and Judy Veloso. Learning objectives. Explain the importance of good human resource management on projects, including the current state of the global IT workforce and future implications for it. Define project human resource management and understand its processes. Summarize key concepts for managing people by understanding the theories of Abraham Maslow, Frederick Heisberg, David McClelland, and Douglas MacGregor on motivation. H.J. Tamhane and D.L. Wellman on influencing workers, and Stephen Covey on how people and teams can become more effective. Understand important issues involved in project staff acquisition, and explain the concepts of resource assignments, resource loading, and resource leveling. Assist in team development with training, team building activities, and reward systems. Explain and apply several tools and techniques to help manage a project team and summarize general advice on managing teams. Describe how project management software can assist in project human resource management. The global IT workforce, although IT labor market had its ups and downs, there will always be a need for people to develop and maintain IT hardware, software, networks, and applications. The global market for IT workers is expanding, and the demand for project managers continues to increase. Implications for the future of IT human resource management. Organizations must work to fulfill their human resource needs and the needs of individual people in their organizations, regardless of the job market. Organizations need to understand the importance of project human resource management and make effective use of people. Proactive organizations address current and future human resource needs by improving benefits, redefining work hours and incentives, and finding future workers. What is project human resource management? Human resource management includes the processes required to make the most effective use of people involved within a project. It has four processes. Number 1, planning human resource. 2, acquiring the project. 3, developing the project team. 4, managing the project team. Planning human resource involves identifying and documenting project roles, responsibilities, and reporting relationships. Acquiring the project involves assigning the needed personnel to work on the project. 3, developing the project team involves building individual and group skills to enhance project performance. 4, managing the team involves tracking team members' performance, motivating team members, providing timely feedback, resolving issues and conflicts, and coordinating changes to help enhance project performance. This is figure 9-1, the project human resource management summary, which includes the different process and its corresponding output, which will be tackled later on the report. Keys to managing people. Dito, tatalakayin na ang mga pag-aaral na sinagawa ng mga psychologist at mga management theories para maayos na pangangasiwa sa yamang tao. Ang psychosocial issues ay nakaapekto kung paano magtrabaho at gaano ka-epektibo ang pagtrabaho ng isang tao. Kasama na rito ang motivation, influence, and power at effectiveness. Ang motivation theories ay naklasify sa dalawa. Ito ay ang intrinsic motivation at ang extrinsic motivation. Ang intrinsic motivation causes people to participate in activity for their own enjoyment. Halimbawa na lang dito ay yung pagko-code. Meron yung mga taong nag-enjoy sa pag-code dahil ito ay challenging at ito ay mga nakakapagpasaya sa nila. Ang intrinsic motivation naman causes to do something for a reward or to avoid penalty. Example, yung iba naman, magko-code sila, gagawa sila ng program, kasi kung hindi nila gagawin yun, maaaring wala silang grade, o kaya hindi sila pumasa sa isang subject. Kaya naman kailangan nilang mag-code o kaya magpasa ng mga requirement. Popular motivation theories are contributions of Abraham Maslow, Frederick Hertzberg, David McClelland, and Douglas McGregor para mas maintindihan ang motivation. Ang first theory natin ay Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs by Abraham Maslow. States that people behaviors are guided or motivated by a sequence of needs. Each level of the hierarchy is a prerequisite for the levels above. Successful project managers know that they must focus on meeting project goals, but they also must understand the team members' personal goals and needs to provide appropriate motivation and maximize team performance. Dito sa figure 9-2, ipinapakita ang Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs. Nasa pinakababa ang physiological, susunod ang safety, social, esteem, at ang pinakamataas ay ang self-actualization. Ang physiological ay nagrepresenta ng food, water, at iba pa. Ang safety naman ay ang physical safety, economic security. Ang social naman ay ang acceptance, love, affection, socialization with team or group. Pangapat na ng esteem, recognition, prestige, status. Ang pinakamataas naman ay ang challenging projects, opportunities for innovation and creativity. Sabi dito sa Maslow's, bago makapunta sa mas mataas na part ng pyramid, dapat munang masatisfy na sa baba. Ibig sabihin, bago ako makapunta sa safety, dapat na-satisfy muna yung need ko sa food at water bago sa pangailangan ng physical safety at economic security. Ang pangalawang theory naman ay ang Hertzberg's Motivation Hygiene Theory by Frederick Hertzberg. Hygiene factors cause dissatisfaction if not presented, but would not motivate workers to do more if present. Hertzberg found that people were motivated to work mostly by feeling of personal achievement and recognition. Motivators are achievement, recognition, the work itself, responsibility, advancement, and growth. Dito sa table 9-1 ay ang isang example ng Hertzberg hygiene factor and motivators. Ang pinapakita sa kaliwa ay ang mga hygiene factors at ang nasa kanan naman ay ang mga motivators. Ang mga halimbawa na binigay dito ng hygiene factors ay larger salaries, more supervision, more attractive work environment, computer or other required equipment, health benefits, and trainings. Kung saan ito ay may mga corresponding na motivators na achievement, recognition, work itself, responsibility, advancement, at growth. McClelland's Acquired Needs Theory by David McClelland. A person's specific needs are acquired or learned over time and shaped by life experiences. The main categories are achievement, affiliation, and power. Ang achievement ay nakukuha tuwing people have a high need for achievement, seek to excel, and tend to avoid both low and high risk situations to improve their chances for achieving something worthwhile. Ang affiliation naman ay people with high need for affiliation, desire harmonious relationship with other people, and need to feel accepted by others. Kumbaga, sa mga kapwa mo employee o kaya sa mga katrabaho mo, sa boss mo. Ang power naman is a need for power. Desire either power, personal power, or institutional power. Example, kung gusto mong ma-promote, kumbaga, o kaya naman magkaroon ng power na maging project leader. Ang pang-apat na theory ang MacGregor's Theory X and Theory Y by Douglas MacGregor. Tamhane and Weilmann's Influence and Power. H.J. Tamhane and D.L. Weilmann investigated the approaches that project managers use to deal with workers and how those approaches relate to project success. Project managers must earn the ability to influence by using expertise and friendship. May na-identify silang 9 influences based on the available influence bases that are available to project managers. Number 1, authority. Second, assignment. Budget. Promotion. Money. Penalty. Work challenge. Expertise. And the last, friendship. Projects were more likely to fail when project managers relied too heavily Projects were more likely to fail when project managers relied too heavily on using authority, money, or penalty to influence people. When project managers used work challenge and expertise to influence people, projects were more likely to succeed. Influence is related to the topic of power. Power is the ability to influence behavior to get people to do something they would not otherwise do. Power has a much stronger connotation than influence, especially because it's often used to force people to change their behavior. Covey and Improving Effectiveness by Stephen Covey. 7 approaches for helping people and teams become more effective. 1. Be proactive. Begin with the end in mind. Put first things first. Think win-win. Seek first to understand, then be understood. Synergize. Sharpen the saw. Empathic listening can help project managers and team members find out what motivates different people. Once project managers and team members begin to practice empathic listening, they can communicate and work together to tackle problems more effectively. Rapport is a relation of harmony, conformity, accord, or affinity. Without rapport, people cannot begin to communicate. One technique for establishing rapport is mirroring. Mirroring is matching certain behaviors of the other person. People tend to like others who are like themselves, and mirroring helps you take some of the other person's characteristics. In most cases, however, some extreme measures are not needed, and mirroring must be used with caution.
For developing the human resource plan, you must identify and document project roles, responsibilities, skills, and reporting relationships. It includes an organizational chart, and it contains a detailed information on roles, responsibilities, and the staffing management plan. The top management and the project manager must identify first what types of people ang kailangan nilang ipasok to ensure the project success bago gumawa ng organizational chart or any part of the human resource. So this figure is an example of organizational chart. After identifying important skills and the type of people needed for the project, the project manager, top management, and project team should work together para magawa nila or makagawa sila ng organizational chart. So yung deputy project manager, sub-project managers, and teams, sila yung project personnel. While the system engineering, quality assurance, and configuration management is sila yung nagre-represent or sila yung department that's supporting the project. The deputy project managers, sila yung kapalit or in charge kapag wala yung project manager. And sa project managers, sila naman yung responsable sa pag-manage ng mga large project. Like for example, sa isang project, kailangan ng pag-upgrade sa software at hardware. So the sub-project managers could be in charge of each upgrade. So after creating an organizational structure, the next is work definition and assignment process. This figure shows a framework for defining and assigning work that consists of 4 steps. The first one is requirement finalization, or finalizing the project requirements. The key outputs is finalized project scope baseline and finalized technical baseline. The next one is how work will be done, or defining how the work will be accomplished. The key output is the program team approach and technical approaches. The third one is break down the work, or dividing the work into manageable elements. And the key output is work breakdown structure, or WBS, and activity definitions. And the last one is assign the work, or assigning work responsibilities. The key output is organizational breakdown structure, or OBS, responsibilities. Work definition and assignment process is carried out during the proposal and startup phases of a project. So process is iterative, meaning tuloy-tuloy ang paggawa or yung process ng isang project. The request for proposal or draft contract often provides the basis for defining and finalizing work requirements. So if the project does not require an RFP, then the internal project charter and scope statement would provide the basis for defining and finalizing work requirements. And once the project team has decided on a technical approach, it develops a work breakdown structure, or WPS, to establish manageable elements of work. The next one is organizational breakdown structure, or OBS. OBS is the people responsible for performing the work. So when the project manager and project team have broken down the work into manageable elements, the project manager assigns work to organizational units, while the project manager often bases these work assignments on where the work fits in the organization and uses an organizational breakdown structure to conceptualize the process. Next is Responsibility Assignment Matrix, or RAM. This figure shows the maps that work of the project as described in the WBS, and to the people responsible for performing the work naman yung as described in the OBS. So the RAM allocates work to responsible and performing organizations, team, or individual depending on the desired level of detail. So for smaller project, it is best to assign individual people to WBS activities. And for the large project, it is more effective to assign the work to organizational units or team. In addition to using a RAM to assign detailed work activities, you can use it to define general roles and responsibilities on project. So this type of RAM can include the stakeholders in the project. Some organizations use RASI charts to show 4 key roles for project stakeholders. So the first one is responsibility. So responsibility, sino yung gagawa ng task or sining naka-assign, something like that. The next one is accountability. Who signs off on the task or has authority for it? Then the third one is consultation. Who has informed who has information necessary to complete the task. Then the last one is inform, who needs to be notified of task status and results. So this table of process chart, it listed the task vertically and it listed the individuals or groups horizontally. So each intersecting cell contains an RAC or I. The RC or I may have multiple entries, but there can be only one A entry per row to clarify who is accountable for each task. So staffing management plans and resource histograms. It describes when and how people will be added to the project team and taken off it. So the staffing management plan, it describes the types of people needed to work on the project. So such as Java programmers, business analysts, and technical writers. The plan would also describe how these resources would be acquired, trained, rewarded, and reassigned after the project. So all of these issues are important to meeting the needs of the project, the employees, and the organizations. So this figure is an example of resource histogram. The staffing management plan often includes a resource histogram, which is a columns chart that shows the number of resources assigned to a project over time. So there's a manager, business analyst, programmers, and technical writers. So that column represents the number of people needed in each area. By stacking the column, you can see the total number of people needed each month. So after determining the project staffing needs, the next step in project human resource management are to acquire the necessary staff and then develop the project team. And for acquiring the project team, it was a seller's market with corporations competing fiercely for a shrinking pool of qualified, experienced IT professionals. So ito yung for recruiting team members. And it's also important to assign the appropriate type and number of people to work on the projects at the appropriate times. This section addresses important topics related to acquiring the project team, the resource assignment, resource loading, and resource leveling. So resource assignment is to assign personnel to their projects or to acquire additional human resources needed to staff the project. So the main output of this process are project staff assignments, resource availability information, and updates to the staffing management plan. Many project teams also find it useful to create a project team directory. So the next one is resource loading. It refers to the amount of individual resources that an existing schedule requires during specific time periods. So, it helps the project manager understand the demands of a project on the organization's resources and on individual people's schedules. A histogram can be very helpful in determining the staffing needs or in identifying staffing problems. So, this figure shows the histogram showing an overallocated individual. Overallocation means that not enough resources are available to perform the assigned work during the given time period. So this histogram illustrates kung ilang tao yung naka-assign sa paggawa ng project per week. The number on the vertical axis represents the percentage of persons available time that is allocated to work on the project, while the top horizontal axis represents the time in weeks. The next one is resource leveling. It is a technique for resolving resource conflicts by delaying tasks. Overallocation is one type of resource conflict. If a certain resource is overallocated, the project manager can change the schedule to remove resource overallocation. If a certain resource is underallocated, the project manager can change the schedule to try to improve the use of the resource. So, the main purpose of resource leveling is to create a smoother distribution of resource usage, and it aims to minimize period by period variations in resource loading by shifting tasks within their slack allowance. So, this figure is an example of resource leveling. Resource leveling has several benefits. The first, when resources are used on a more constant basis, they require less management. The second is resource leveling may enable project managers to use a just-in-time inventory type of policy for subcontractor or other expensive resources. Then the third one is resource leveling results in fewer problems for project personnel and accounting departments, increasing and decreasing labor levels, And human resource often produce additional work and confusion. So the last one is research leveling often improves morale. People like to have some stability in their jobs. It is very stressful for people not to know what projects they will be working on from week to week or even from day to day.
Developing the project team. Dito sa part na ito, pagkatapos ni project manager na bumuo ng team at mag-recruit ng mga taong may iba't ibang kaalaman na involved doon sa project nilang gagawin. Dito na pumapasok yung team development na kung saan ito ay para matulungan yung mga taong involved dito kung paano sila gagawa or kikilos ng sama-sama. Sabi dyan, the main goal of team development is to help people work together more effectively to improve project performance. It takes teamwork to successfully complete most projects. Under ng team development, merong si Dr. Bruce Tuckman ay merong ipinablish na 4-stage model of team development. Ito ay tinatawag na Tuckman model. 4-stage model siya na dinevelop noong 1965. Tapos in 1970s, nag-include pa siya ng additional na isa pang stage. Kaya naging 5 stages na siya. Ang first stage is forming. Involves the introduction of team members either at the initiation of the team or as new members are introduced. Dito sa stage na ito, pinapakilala yung mga bagong member ng team nila. Tapos dito pinapakilala yung mga bagong tao na involved sa project. Pangalawa, storming. Occurs when team members have different opinions of how the team should operate. Dito sa stage na ito, yung pumapasok na yung kung ano-ano yung mga iba't ibang opinion nila para sa project na to at kung paano sila makiki-cooperate sa bawat isa. Next is norming is achieved when team members have developed a common working method and cooperation and collaboration replace the conflicts and mistrust of the previous phase. Next is performing. Occurs when the emphasis is on reaching the team's goals rather than working on team process. Ito naman ay yung kung yung attention ba nila ay nasa point na ng pag-reach ng team goals nila. Yung relationship nila is okay na as a team members are likely to build loyalty sa bawat isa. Sabi dito, this stage is able to manage tasks that are more complex and cope with greater change. Last is adjourning. Involves the breakup of the team after it successfully reaches its goals and completes the work. Okay. Ang team development ay merong mahalagang bagay or techniques for team development including training, team building activities, and reward and recognitions. Okay, dun muna tayo sa training. Training can help people understand themselves, each other, and how to work better in teams. Yung training, ito ay isa sa malaking tulong sa isang tao para ma-improve yung kakayahan nila para sa isang bagay. And team development, para hindi sila mahirapan sa anumang possible na gawin, kumbaga preferred na sila sa mga gagawin nila sa project na kinabibilangan nila. Team building activities include physical challenges, psychological preference indicators tool. Sa ngayon, karamihan sa mga organization ay nagkakaroon na ng team building dahil sa palagay nila. Ito yung higit na makakatulong upang magkaroon sila ng magandang komunikasyon at kung paano ba nila pakikisamahan ang bawat isa while doing their project as a. Next is Meyers-Briggs Type Indicator or MBTI. MBTI is popular tool for determining personality preferences and helping teammates understand each other. Yung MBTI ay merong 4 dimension include extrovert or introvert, sensation institution, intuition, thinking feeling, judgment, perception. Doon muna tayo sa extrovert. Extrovert, energy from other people. Introvert naman, energy from yourself. Sensation intuition, sensation, or sensing. The type of people take it facts, details, and reality and describe themselves as practical. Initiative type people are imaginative, ingenious, and attentive to hunches or intuition. Yung first dimension, yun yung determines if you are generally extroverted or introverted. Yung sensation naman, this second dimension relates the manner in which you gather information. Third dimension, thinking, feeling. Thinking judgment is objective and logical, and feeling judgment is subjective and personal. Fourth dimension is judgment, perception. Concerns people attitude towards structure. Judgment type people like closure and task completion. Perceiving types prepare to keep things open and flexible. So, yan yung 4 dimension ng MBTI. NTS or rationals are attracted to technology fields. IT people vary most from the general population in not being extroverted or sensing. Meyers-Briggs Type Indicator or MBTI. Next is social styles profile. People are perceived as behaving primarily in one of 4 zones based on their assertiveness and responsiveness. First is drivers. Are proactive and task-oriented. Ito yung they are firmly rooted in the present and they strive for action. Next is expressives. Are proactive and people-oriented. They are future-oriented and use their intuition to look for fresh perspective on the world around them. Susunod ay analyticals. Are reactive and task-oriented. They are fast-oriented and strong thinkers. Amiables. Are reactive and people-oriented. They think in terms of the present, past, or future depending on the situation, and they strongly value relationship. People on opposite corners, drivers and amiables, analyticals, and expressives maybe have difficulties getting along. Makikita nyo yung figure ng social styles. Analytical, driver, amiable, and expressive. And also, DISC profiles also uses a 4-dimensional model of normal behavior. Ang 4-dimensional na ito ay dominance, influence, steadiness, and compliance. People in opposite quadrants can have problems understanding each other. Dominance or red, direct, decisive, assertive, outcome-oriented, competitive, self-assured, takes control, has to win. Next is influence or yellow. Persuasive, optimistic, outgoing, verbal, enthusiastic, strives to win others people, leadership through acclamation. Susunod, steadiness, nagre-represent ng color green. Calm, sincere, sympathetic, cooperative, cautious, conflict, averse, good listener, wants to maintain stability. Last is compliance na nagre-represent ng blue. Data-driven, risk-averse, concerned, works when alone, prefers process and procedures, not very communicative or social. Susunod, reward and recognition system. Team-based reward and recognition system can promote teamwork. Focus on rewarding teams for achieving specific goals. Allow time for team members to mentor and help each other to meet project goals and develop human resources. Karamihan sa mga organization ay nag-o-offer ng mga bonuses, trips, or other rewards para dun sa mga workers na nagkaroon ng magandang trabaho dun sa project nila. Yung mga project managers na nagre-recognize sila ng reward dun sa mga taong willing na magtrabaho overtime para lang ma-meet yung goal nila, tapos to meet an aggressive schedule objective. At doon sa mga tao na tinutulungan yung member nila para magkaroon ng magandang output. Yung project manager, hindi siya nagre-reward sa mga taong nag-overtime lang para sa ekstrang bayad. Dahil ito yung parang ginagawa lang nila para dun sa kikitain nila, hindi para dun sa goal nila na magkaroon ng magandang project. Tapos yung ibang mga involved naman na tao dun na mayroong magandang contribution, ang ginagawa naman ng project manager, ito yung ina-adapt na nila as a team nila sa lahat ng project. Tapos hinahire nila na itataas yung position na napopromote yung ibang member, ganun. Dahil sa magandang ipinakita nila para dun sa project nilang ginagawa.
Managing the project team. In addition to developing the project team, the project manager must lead it in performing various project activities. So after assessing team performance and related information, the project manager must decide if changes should be requested to the project, or if corrective or preventive action should be recommended, or else if updates are needed to the project management plan or organizational process assets. So the project manager must use their soft skills to find the best way to motivate and managing each team member. So these are the tools and techniques for managing project teams. The first one is observation and conversation. Project managers need to observe team members at work to assess how they are performing and ask them members how they feel about their work. So the project managers like to practice or manage by walking around to physically see and hear their team members at work. The next one is project performance appraisals. So this is the states of an opinion about the condition of the project. The next one is interpersonal skills. Project managers must possess several interpersonal skills. Or to effectively manage teams, it is especially important to focus on leadership, influencing, and decision making. The last one is conflict management. Conflict management is important for project managers to understand strategies for handling conflicts and to proactive manage conflicts. Conflict management is ito yung pag-manage ng team kung paano nila i-handle ang pagkakaroon ng conflict sa project nila. The 5 basic modes or strategies for handling conflicts. The first one is confrontation, compromise, smoothing, forcing, and withdrawal. The confrontation is approach that also called the problem-solving mode. When the task and relationship are both of high importance, this mode is usually the most effective. The next is compromise. Project manager use a give-and-take approach to resolving conflicts. They bargain and search for solutions that bring some degree of satisfaction to all the parties in a dispute. This mode works best when both the task and relationship are of medium importance. The next is smoothing. This approach is also called accommodating. It is best used when the relationship is of high importance and the task is of low importance. The next is forcing. Can be viewed as the win-lose approach to conflict resolution. Project managers exert their viewpoint at the potential expense of another viewpoint. If the task is of high importance and the relationship is of low importance, this mode can be very effective. And the last one is withdrawal. Project managers retreat or withdraw from an actual or potential disagreement. This approach is also called avoiding and is normally the least desirable conflict handling mode, unless the task and relationship are both of low importance. Additional for a conflict handling mode. Collaborating mode is a decision makers incorporate different viewpoints and insights to develop consensus and commitment. Collaborating is even though the manager might not agree on a decision, they commit to following it in the best interest of the organization. So the project managers must also realize that not all conflict is bad. Conflict often produces important results, such as new ideas, better alternatives, and motivation to work harder and more collaboratively. General advice on managing teams. Teamwork remains the one sustainable competitive advantage that has been largely untapped. Teamwork is almost lacking within organizations that fail and often present within those that succeed. So these are the five dysfunctions of teams or having a poor behaviors within a group of people. The first one is absence of trust, fear of conflict, lack of commitment, avoidance of accountability, and inattention to results. So for general advice on managing teams, be patient and kind with your team. So do not assume that your team members are lazy and careless. Be optimistic. The next one is fix problem instead of blaming people. Help people work out problems by focusing on behaviors. The next one is establish regular, effective meetings. So focus on meeting project objectives and producing positive results. The next one is allow time for teams to go through the basic team building stages. Don't expect your teams to work at the highest performance level right away. The next one is limit the size of work teams to 3 to 7 members. And plan some social activities to help project teams member and other stakeholders get to know each other better. Make the social events fun and not mandatory. Stress team identity. Create traditions that team members enjoy. So nurture team members and encourage them to help each other. So identify and provide training that will help individuals and the team as a whole become more effective. And acknowledge individual and group accomplishments. So the lesson is take additional actions to work with virtual team members. Have a face-to-face or phone meeting at the start of a virtual project or when introducing a virtual team members. Screen people carefully to make sure they can work effectively in a virtual environment and clarify how virtual team members will communicate.
General advice on teams. Plan some social activities to help project team members and other stakeholders get to know each other better. Stress team identity, nurture team members and encourage them to help each other. Take additional actions to work with virtual team members. Using software to assist in human resource management. Software can help in producing RAMs and resource histograms. Project management software includes several features related to human resource management, such as assigning resources, identifying potential resource shortages or underutilization, leveling resources. Project resource management involves much more than using software. Project managers must treat people with consideration and respect, understand what motivates them, communicate carefully with them. Focus on your goal of enabling project team members to deliver their best work. Chapter Summary. Project Human Resource Management includes the processes required to make the most effective use of the people involved with a project. Main processes include human resource planning, acquiring the project team, developing the project team, and managing the project team. Thank you.